Hello and welcome back to the Monetary Movement channel here. I'm your host Garrett, and today we're going to be covering Bimetallic Standard and what it is and how it works. So I pulled up an article here on Investopedia. I'm not going to read through the entire article. I'm going to go ahead and leave the link to it in the description here for you guys. But I'm just going to cover some basic points on what the bimetallic standard is, and then try to draw some conclusions in here on where this could go in future with the world going back to a commodity-based system rather than the fiat currency system that we're currently using. So I thought this was really interesting. Please let me know if you like. Feel free to shoot me a comment, give me some feedback there. Always remember to like the video and share if you have the other people that would be interested in this. But yeah, so what is the bimetallic standard? The bimetallic standard, or bimetallism, is a monetary system in which a government recognizes coins composed of both gold or silver as legal tender. So back in the day, back in 1792, as it turns out, is when this went through. So 1792 through to 1834 is when this standard was in place here in the United States. And you could basically go and buy goods or services with gold or silver coins. These were coins that were actually minted by the government, which, really interesting stuff. Again, shows that gold and silver has been around for thousands and thousands of years. I think that this is something that's greatly applicable today in today's world, especially where we're on this fiat-based system. It's not backed by anything, and you slowly have governments both outside of the U.S. and here at home that are actually starting to transition back into a commodity-based system. Commodities being things like gold, silver, oil, land, that kind of stuff. So jumping back into this, the mint ratio, or gold silver ratio, is the price of an ounce of gold divided by the price of an ounce of silver, and is the exchange rate between the two precious metals. In a bimetallist system, the mint ratio would be fixed by the government at a particular exchange rate, which could be adjusted from time to time in response to the market forces. So it's got some key takeaways in here. Governments who officially recognize both gold and silver as legal tender follow the bimetallic standard as their monetary system. Central banks were in charge of setting or fixing the gold to silver ratio under bimetallism, which provided stability to the currency markets. So before I move on here, so the gold to silver ratio, if you've never heard that term before, the gold to silver ratio is when how many ounces of silver does it take cost-wise to make up 1 ounce of gold. So in today's world, where gold is about $2,400 per ounce, silver is about, we'll round up to say $30. So the gold to silver ratio right now is 80 to 1. It takes 80 ounces of silver to make up 1 ounce of gold. Later on in this video, it'll kind of go over what the gold to silver ratio is back then as well, which is really interesting. Uh, Under the gold standard, only gold is legal tender, and the gold to silver price ratio freely floats. So this was something that back in the day used to be made up by the free market. The bimetallic standard was utilized by the United States briefly during its years as a republic through to the Civil War. Bimetallic standard works. The bimetallic standard was first used in the United States in 1792 as a means of controlling the value of money. For example, during 18th century in United States, 1 ounce of gold was equal to 15 ounces of silver. Therefore, there would be 15 times more silver by weight in $10 worth of silver coins than $10 worth of gold coins. Adequate gold and silver were kept in reserves to back the paper currency. This bimetallic standard was used until the Civil War when the Reassumption Act of 1875 stated that paper money could be converted to gold. So super interesting. I guess I was wrong here. 1875 is when we closed out of this bimetallic system. So nearly nearly 100 years, about 80 years almost of this system, which is really interesting. Something that I'm taking away from this. So adequate gold and silver were kept in reserves to back the paper currencies. So spoiler alert on that. Part of the reason why we went off of the gold standard is basically what that means is you have paper notes that you could go and redeem for gold and silver or silver at a bank, and they had to have those reserves. They had to have enough gold and silver to be able to give you in exchange. Well, these banks were keeping very low reserves. Have they didn't have the gold or silver there, and so what ended up happening is those banks ended up getting in trouble. Um, because they had more people wanting to redeem paper notes for gold or silver than they had people that were depositing gold or silver. So adequate gold and silver, it's kind of a interesting way of putting it. They clearly did not have, and I mean we know this now, they didn't have adequate reserves during that time. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's a little bit about the bimetallic system here and what exactly that is. It is a little bit different than the gold standard. The gold standard is a fixed monetary regime under which the government's currency is fixed and may be freely converted into gold. Um, and then obviously during World War II, we ended up jumping into the Bretton Woods Agreement, where gold was just kind of completely kicked off of the stage here, and the U.S. dollar was the world reserve at that point. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up here. I'm going to go ahead and leave this article in the description. Please let me know, like I said, if you have any comments, any questions. I'd love to do more videos like this, kind of diving into some of the other monetary systems that we've had here in the U.S. and then also, diving into things like Bretton Woods and what the Bretton Woods agreements are. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. This has been Garrett on Monetary Moves, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.